Hi friends, welcome to another video. So if you're new here, hi, hello, I'm Lauren. I'm an aspiring author writing what I hope to be my debut novel. It is a small town sapphic romance about two girls raised in a conservative Christian community who meet on a double date with boys from their town. And I have not written anything for it in about 2 weeks. I know, boo, tomato, tomato. I'm like officially in a writing slump. Okay, officially. I went back to my hometown for a bunch of family stuff. We had a bunch of stuff going on, all good things. But I was ending every day super tired, exhausted. I had like no time to write, and any time that I did have free ended up being spent on like freelance projects and writing tests for clients I hope to work with soon. So lots of writing was being done, just not for the projects I really wanted to do. So today, I'm clawing myself out of this hole, okay? I am. We are getting back into the swing of things. I have like the whole day blocked out just so I can write. Let's go. I have a vague plan of what I want to do today. I'm hoping for like at least 3 or so writing sessions, hopefully doing 2 sprints per session, but we'll see. The goal of the day is just to get back into the swing of things. I'm not going into this with like a huge word count goal. I'm not going into this with like a huge time goal because I know myself, I know how I write, and I know that it's going to take a bit of time to get back into the groove of things. This first sprint, I know, is going to be like half spent just rereading what I've already written. For the scene, I'm actually in the double date where they meet. It was originally outlined as 1 chapter, and then I got halfway through it and I was like, oh, this is 4,000 words and I'm still in the date. Maybe we should split this in 2. So I'm in the second half. I'll be rereading the first half to find my bearings again, and then we'll go from there. So my current word count is 22,260. I don't have any big goals for the day. My original goal for August was to get 15,000 words. I think I haven't even hit 5,000 for the month, and it is August 30th. So, you know, maybe we can get to half. 7,500 for the month. Let's try that. I'm about to get into this first sprint, so wish me luck. Okay, so sprint 1 is done. I got about 200 words, which isn't bad considering the first 15 minutes of my 25-minute sprint were literally just me reading. I read all of chapter 6 again, and then the parts that I have written of chapter 7, made a couple edits to chapter 6. I don't really like to edit while I draft, but I always end up making small tweaks when I just like reread the last, little bit that I wrote. But feeling okay about where we've gotten so far. I'm still, figuring out the dynamics in this scene. It is a double date, so it's not just my main character, Charity, meeting her love interest, Abigail, for the first time. It's also her interacting with her, quote unquote supposed love interest, Chase, for real for the first time. I mean, he of course, asked her out. We already did that scene, but this is like the first time they're like really spending together. So I'm figuring out how multiple dynamics work in this scene. Plus there's the other guy on this double date. His name's Tucker. He's with Abigail, and he's very much a different character than Chase. Chase is far more polite and sweet, and Tucker is a bit more, stereotypically bit toxic masculinity going on. So there's a big difference between the two. So I'm figuring out all that in the same scene. It's a lot going on, but I really like what I've got going so far. I'm in the middle of a really sweet scene between Charity and Chase. I do want to like establish their dynamic as something kind. Clearly, not romantic or anything, but I want them to be good friends at the end of this. I want them to have that like friendship chemistry, I guess you could say, even though it's, obviously not going to work out romantically. But I am getting hungry, so I'm going to break for some lunch. Afterward, we're going to come back, do a couple more sprints. Let's see how this day goes. Okay, coming to you live from my desk post lunch. No B-roll of lunch because my roommate is currently moving out, so it is messy as all hell out there. We're missing a coffee table right now. It's a lot. So I'm back here ready for sprint 2, starting session 2. I think I'm going to do 2 sprints, 25-ish minutes each is the goal. I might do like 25 for the first one and then 30 for a second. I'm still also working off no music right now. I think I just need silence so I can just focus on figuring out what the heck I'm gonna write next. We're locking in for an hour. I will see you soon. Bye. Okay. That was dramatic. I kind of had fun with that. Writing session number 2 is officially done. 2 more writing sprints in the books. I did 25 minutes each, so roughly an hour total. We locked in, and I ended up getting, I think it totaled like 850 words, which with the 200 or so I already got, we're already above 1,000 for the day, which is amazing. We definitely hit 5,000 total for the month by now, so I will definitely be updating that 15K goal, but I'm really happy with what I did with those 2 sprints. I'm still kind of figuring out this scene. There's like a couple moments in it in my outline that I knew I really wanted, but there's a lot that outlining me was just kind of like, well, I'll figure it out during the draft. During this double date, there's a lot of like talking to each other that I'm still, toying with, but I'm feeling good about what I've done today, what I've added so far, where it's at. I'm definitely going to do another writing sprint tonight. I feel like I finally have momentum again, which feels nice after 2 weeks of just feeling very stagnant and very stuck. I'm looking forward to hopefully maybe finishing this chapter tonight. That'd be a big ask. I think there's still like at least 500, if not 1,000 words left to go in this chapter. But in that, there's like a couple moments from the outline that I think, given what I've already written, I could even like copy paste directly. When I outline, I'm like writing actual dialogue. It's a lot sometimes. Sometimes I like just get carried away during the outline and start kind of drafting. The process is weird, okay? The process is weird. This is my first time writing a book, Well, this is my first time writing a book that I'm like actually sticking to, that I'm making myself stick to. So maybe the process will be different for book 2. Who knows? That's in at least a year's time. But I am excited to keep going. So I'm going to take a break because brain breaks are important. I think I'm going to catch the last bit of daylight and go read outside. I've been reading The Favorites by, I think it's Lane Fargo. I'm about halfway through. This is fantastic. This is so fun. I love this little like niche genre of historical literary fiction about like very messy rich people. It's kind of giving like Taylor Jenkins Reid, Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau, I believe it is, Honey, Isabel Bonta. That was one of my favorite reads of last year. So I'm loving it. I'm hoping to finish that book tomorrow so I can fit it into my little August wrap up. But let's go read outside. Alright, so it is now the next day, and honestly I'd say yesterday was pretty successful. I think my final total was about 1,630 something words. I'll put the total right here, and honestly I'm quite happy with that. I think that's my highest one-day total so far in this whole like writing process, which is really awesome to see, especially after 2 weeks straight of not writing. But this chapter is still giving me so much trouble. Like, chapter 7 is still not done. I got a few of like the moments that I knew I wanted in there done, but it's just like the connective tissue between them that I'm still really struggling with. So far with this project, I've been writing everything pretty much chronologically, but this one I am skipping around throughout the chapter, which is sometimes a sign that I am like losing motivation, but I think today reignited it. I feel the momentum coming back. I feel it coming back. So I am updating my goal from 15,000 words in August down to 7,500. I mean, going into yesterday, I only had 4,700. And so 15,000 was, you know, not happening, but 7,500 I think I can still do. It's the 31st now and I have like less than 1,000 to go. I think I'm gonna get that tonight. It's a Sunday, so I've got pretty much the afternoon free to do that, but you will hear all about that in my August wrap up, I am sure. It was easier than I expected to come out of the writing slump. I think I kind of like built it up in my head a little bit, especially since it had been 2 weeks since I'd written, that it was gonna, you know, not really flow at all. And to be fair, the first sprint wasn't the greatest. I think I only got 200 words in those 25 minutes, but that's because I spent 15 minutes rereading what I had already written. Like, of course I'm not gonna write a lot, but yeah, this slump sucked, but how can I be like disappointed in myself for it when I spent that time with family, you know, being present? Like, my grandmother turned 90. Why should I be mad at myself for not writing that day when I was focused on celebrating the fact that my grandma was fucking 90? But yeah, maybe the break wasn't what I wanted, but maybe it was necessary. I have a new kind of like excitement going into this next like phase of the book. I'd say I'm like kind of in like act 2 now, and so from here it kind of like really gets the ball rolling with them developing their relationship, which is something that actually did trip me up with chapter 7 too, because it's the first time they're meeting, and it's like conveying that like mix of emotions for my main character Charity, where she's like suddenly feeling comfortable with somebody she just met and she can't really figure out why, and she's starting to like notice these things about her, but she doesn't know why. She's like noticing how pretty she is and like noticing the way her hair moves and things like that, but also kind of knowing that she should be focusing her attention on the guy she's with on the date, Chase, but then also like not really having like interest in him, even though he is making an effort. There's a lot going on in this first double date. I think it's just like twisting up my brain a lot, especially since this is the first draft, and I know that the first draft is not going to be perfect and it is not going to convey the emotions exactly the way I want, but that's for revision me to figure out. She'll get there. She will get there. But yeah, I think that's about it for this vlog. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. I would be so happy if you did, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.